Welcome to the final module of this course. You're almost there. But before we look ahead to the future of AI, let me remind you of the three things we learned in the last module, Module 5. First, we discovered that AI ethics isn't just about complicated philosophy. It's about practical choices that affect real people every day, from scholarship applications to job interviews. Second, we learned the FAST principles to check for ethical use of AI: fairness, accountability, safety, and transparency. These help us evaluate whether AI systems are being used responsibly. Third and final, we understood that being an ethical AI user means always disclosing when you use AI, verifying information, and never sharing sensitive personal data with AI systems. So here are the major trends that are reshaping how we interact with AI technology. These aren't some sci-fi science fiction examples that will happen in the future. In fact, they are all happening right now. Each of these trends is already changing how we work, study, and live. Let's explore what they mean for you one by one. The first trend is how English or Hindi or any language is the new coding. This is all about the way we code and create software and how it is changing because of AI. The trend represents one of the biggest shifts in how we interact with computers and other machines. For decades, if you wanted to tell a computer what to do, you needed to learn special programming languages like Python, C++, etc., with strict rules and complex syntax. Only people with technical training and engineering degrees could create software. But with AI, especially generative AI, all of this changes. People can already create websites by describing what you want them to look like in your language. Build mobile apps by explaining their functionality, again in human language. Analyze data by asking questions in plain language. Generate reports by giving instructions in Hindi or English or any other language. Now, none of these activities require you to know any complex coding languages. All you need is just one language, human language, whichever it might be. Number 2, AI is also becoming the new UI or user interface. Look at your smartphone screen. What do you see? It's covered with all these app icons that you tap to do different things. But what if none of them were there and you could just talk to your phone and have it understand exactly what you need? You don't need to tap, you just need to talk. In fact, you may know some people who already do this quite a bit. Instead of opening the weather app on their phone to check whether it's going to rain or not, they just use their phone's voice assistant instead. Companies like Apple, Google, and others are moving towards what they call conversational interfaces, where talking to your device feels as natural as talking to a friend, another human being. Soon, you might not need dozens of different apps on your phone. Instead, you'll have just one intelligent assistant that can handle whatever you ask for. The rows of app icons might become as outdated as the old physical keyboards on phones, if you remember them. Even the smartphone as we know it might not be the future of personal technology. This might seem strange now, but remember, the iPhone seemed strange when it first appeared in 2007. And now we can't imagine life without smartphones. In fact, some of you would not have even seen a phone other than a smartphone. Here are some of the key changes we might see. Screens could be largely displaced by voice. Why look at a screen when you can just talk to your device? Apps could be replaced by conversations, as we discussed earlier. Instead of opening different apps, you have an ongoing conversation with an AI bot. The operating systems of today, Android or iOS, could be replaced by AI-based operating systems. The entire way devices work could be redesigned around AI interaction. The third big trend is how AI tools and agents are coming into the picture. And this has been happening more in recent months. This is the rise of what we call agentic AI. While they sound similar, tools and agents, there's a big difference between the two. Simply put, an AI tool tells you what to do, like giving you a recipe or writing an email draft for you to send. But an AI agent, on the other hand, actually does it for you. It does things for you, like booking your train tickets, ordering groceries, or scheduling meetings, or even sending that email, not only drafting it. Think of it like this. Today, if you want to book a train ticket, you might ask ChatGPT about train timings and prices, and it will give you wonderful answers. But tomorrow's AI agent will actually log into the railway website, check availability, book your preferred seat, and send you the confirmation. AI has been given agency, and that's why it's called an agent. And all this is based on your simple request: book me a ticket to Mumbai for next Friday evening. The diagram here shows how AI agents work. You can see that just like us, they have goals, they have prior knowledge, and the ability to take actions in the real world while learning from each experience. A railway booking agent would function just like a human travel agent. It would know your travel preferences, your usual routes, your budget constraints, and could handle the entire booking process while leaving you free to focus on other things. AI agents are already coming into our world of work. If you're doing a Zoom call or any other video call, an AI agent can already take notes, generate summaries, track action items, and create follow-up tasks, all while the humans focus on the actual discussion and the decision making. Jensen Huang of NVIDIA, who you heard from earlier, recently said something that sounds like science fiction but is becoming reality. He said, IT will become the HR of AI agents. What does this mean? In the future, your workplace will not just have human colleagues. It will also have AI agents as team members. This is what the teams of tomorrow are going to look like. Humans and AIs will be working together, with each doing what they do best. For example, today also, you can use an AI agent called Deep Research. It's available in most AI tools in ChatGPT, Gemini, etc. You can give it a prompt, and then it will take 15-20 minutes to give you a deeply detailed research summary. But while it is doing that, you don't need to be sitting there along with it. You can do your other work. The Deep Research agent, it's doing its work, and then after 20 minutes, it will tell you that, look, my research is over, and then you can come back to it, take that, and continue doing what you're doing. And this kind of agentic AI applications are coming in more and more, but tomorrow they will be deeply integrated into our teams, into everything that we do. The next trend is how chat could become the new search. Remember, when finding information meant typing specific keywords into Google or any other search engine and then scrolling through all the links that it gave? Now, more and more people are starting their searches by asking questions directly to AI systems like ChatGPT or Perplexity or Gemini. Instead of searching photosynthesis definition process, you can now conversationally ask an AI system, explain photosynthesis in simple terms to me, and you can get a customized explanation that matches exactly what you need to understand. Tools like Perplexity, which we have seen, even combine the best of both worlds. They search the internet for current information and then provide conversational answers with sources that you can verify. This trend means that knowing how to ask good questions, remember the prompting skills you learned in module 3 and 4, become as, if not more important, as knowing how to use search keywords. The next trend is about how AI creates the new customer. So it's not just about you. Businesses across the world are discovering that customers who use AI have completely different expectations and behaviors. The table shown on the slide shows how customer behavior has evolved over centuries. Much earlier, we had the industrial era. Customers in the industrial era had very limited standardized choices and mostly local interactions, like in a shop or in a factory. They had to be satisfied with what was locally available to them. Then came the digital era with the internet and Facebook and Google and Amazon. And there, customers had abundant choice. They could compare everything online and they expected omni-channel experiences. They became the click and buy customers. And finally, as we enter the age of AI, we will have AI era customers who will expect infinite hyper-personalized options. They want immersive conversational interactions and proactive service that actually anticipates their needs even before that need happens. For example, an AI era customer doesn't just want to buy a phone. They want the AI to understand their usage patterns, their budget and preferences, and then proactively recommend the perfect device at the right time with a personalized payment plan and a setup service. This means businesses need to completely rethink how they serve customers. And obviously, it creates enormous new opportunities for entrepreneurs who can understand these changing expectations.